So, and I don't know this well, and you said earlier I wasn't speaking much, so you'll figure out I have a thing where when I have someone that is more intelligent about a topic than me, I just shut up and listen. It's served me well in my life. But
then
when
you'll speak a lot today.
Yeah. So, but when I have an opinion on it, I definitely will speak up. I'll probably talk too much the other side of it. But what I was going to say is one of the things that's interesting for me is I can look at somebody and I'm not trying to get into a political conversation of do I agree or disagree with Trump. But even if you disagree with Trump, let's say you're not Republican and you disagree with what's going on, I could take that standpoint and go, but there are things he's doing that I think are smart. It's like, for me, it's like if and I don't really follow sports, but imagine the enemy of my team that I love, right? They're beating us. I could look at that team and go, man, you know what? They're killing us, and they're doing this and this and this and this right. So one of those examples that I'm getting to is with what they're doing with the federal judges. So I don't know if you follow that at all or not, but when Trump essentially took office, there were all these federal vacancies with the judges. And so they've been putting in conservative judges like crazy, and they've done the math. If Trump serves another 4 years, by the time he gets done, they'll have replaced like 78% of the federal judges in the country, and they're lifetime appointments. So do you have any opinion based on the way that, because obviously we're talking about the political election process for a president, but I would argue that lifelong appointments of conservative federal judges may have more long-term effects than the current president. Do you have any opinion on any of that, or have you?
Well, I mean, that's.
And I'm layman, so I'm just putting out there stuff that I'm curious about, you know.
Yeah, I mean your questions are great, so I look forward to them, and of course I take forever answering each of them. I'm not an expert in the judicial system. I'll probably preface everything that I say by saying that. But I do follow it with some interest. The question of lifetime appointments is an interesting one.
I agree.
The idea of lifetime appointments is to give judges independence, and in terms of ensuring stability of government and predictability of government, I think that's clearly a plus. The idea of Neil has spoken to me. When I think about topics, I tend to take a very long-term historical approach to it. And the key issue that I have with lifetime appointments is that those are structures that we set up 200 years ago. Mm-hmm. When I don't know what the life expectancy was in 1790 when we set up our judicial system, but I know what it was in around 1900, and it was the life expectancy in the United States was 44. So when people set up the idea of having lifetime appointments, they didn't expect people to live this long.
Right.
And for the first, I read this somewhere at one point, when we first set up the Supreme Court of the United States, and we gave the judges lifetime appointments, it turned out that the average tenure that a Supreme Court judge for the first 100 years was 15 years, because people died.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is something that I said earlier, that nothing that I say here will matter. Nobody will pay attention to me, so I can say it with some freedom. Then, I think it would make some sense to revisit the idea of a lifetime appointment. I think independence is great, but maybe we could cap it at 25 years or 15 years, or at the maximum of either 15 years or until you turn 65, something like that.
Right.
I agree with that. I think even 10 years would be good. But
yeah.
It seems that when people take a political office and they're there too long, that it allows for corruption to set in.